Welcome to Treasure Valley Podcast. I'm Chuck. Today's episode is brought to you by LowerGentry Studios. LowerGentry Studios is a Treasure Valley film production company that specializes in super high quality productions at a very low cost. You can check out LowerGentry Studios' latest creation, Canyon County, a web series, at their website, at our website, www.lowergentrystudios.com. You should check it out. You should share it and like it. You should like it, then share it. And then share it again. And then like it again.
Yeah. Well, at least try to do it at least 5 times.
And comment. I mean, we love the comments.
Yeah, comment. Even if you don't like it. Actually, you will like it, though, or else you're stupid. So any stupid people out there that didn't like it, then we don't want it. We don't want you anyway.
So for those of you that made very rude comments on our video thus far, that actually took the time to go into this podcast and start following it, that's what we think of you.
Actually, no. I like you.
Yeah.
I like everybody. Anybody that clicked and watched it, I like you.
Yeah.
Me
Doesn't
too.
even matter.
Yeah.
It was some ridiculous comments, but we appreciate you taking the time and then taking the time to write some of your ramblings down on those, especially the first episode.
Yeah, the first
that got
episode
some really interesting.
Well,
input.
I mean, the one woman figured out how to take care of all mental health problems in the entire population, which is you just give up your heart to Jesus and then you're no longer crazy.
That's how mental health works for people who didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I just don't know if I'm ready to give myself to Jesus. That seems like I kind of like myself.
I want to, but I don't know what the mechanism is. I don't know how to give myself to Jesus.
Seems like a big
I've been
commitment.
yelling, "Hey, I give myself to you." He never gets back to me.
Have you been yelling it a little crazy though?
Yeah. I usually do it on the Greenbelt at night. Right in the Boise Greenbelt, I'm just screaming, "I give myself to you, Jesus." And then the only person that's talked to me is just a couple police officers and then one terrified woman.
Oh, there's a guy named Jesus that kind of lives in the bushes.
Yeah.
If you yell loud enough, he might come out.
All right,
see the confusion.
perfect. Why is today a special podcast?
Today is a special podcast, and today is a special day overall because it is the 10th anniversary of the death of Michael Jackson.
And that is a really great holiday for pedophiles and pedophile enthusiasts.
Now it is.
Yeah, it is.
As of a couple years ago. Well, it was kind of up in the air as their official holiday.
Yeah.
But I think now it's pretty much solidified after the HBO special.
Yeah, I think so too. I remember actually 10 years ago when he died, I was working at a Wells Fargo home mortgage place, and my job was just to pick up things from a printer and drop it off at people's desks in this big, massive building, right?
You got animated out of that job?
Yeah, I'm sure that job doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, I remember there was TVs every place, and when they said Michael Jackson's dead, I was just like, oh, that's too bad, I think. And even at that time, nobody really knew how to feel about him. And then a couple of days later, they did the funeral. Remember how crazy the funeral was? They had all these people, and it became like a big event. And then halfway through, I was thinking, this is a prank. He's definitely just has a new album for sale, and he's going to pop up at the end of this and just be like, oh, yeah, like that.
But alas, he was not Jesus.
And he was, yeah, he didn't show up 3 days later.
He was just permanently dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless there's got to be some conspiracy theories out there.
I mean, yeah, if Elvis and Hitler is still alive someplace.
Oh, Hitler? That's a conspiracy
Yeah,
theory?
everybody thought he was in South America for a long time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, by now he would have died of old age in South America, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And actually, he had health problems while he was alive, too.
Yeah.
Major health problems.
I didn't know Hitler had health problems.
Yeah, he had a lot of like vitamin deficiency issues, and he had like massive stomach problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would have had stomach cancer, I think, long before. So at best, he lived until like the 70s.
Okay.
Or he actually just died and killed himself when
the history books say.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Anyway, we're kind of going off the rails here. This is a Treasure Valley podcast. Let's talk about events, huh?
Yes.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on in the Treasure Valley?
So there are a couple things going on this weekend that are uber important. The first one is an annual tradition here in Boise is the X-Games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're starting up this. I haven't followed them, though, since they ditched the rollerblades.
I went I think last year with your mom, and it was super fun. Really cool to see these guys.
Were there like casual rollerbladers or?
Yeah, rolling around the park, but they weren't allowed on the actual ramps or anything.
Discrimination.
It is.
People are just throwing sticks at them. Get out of here.
You don't belong here.
This is a place for cool people. Go back to 1995.
I don't know what happened with rollerblades, but it was always really cool to watch them, I thought, in the half pipes. I was aspiring to that, but then they took my dream away.
Yeah. Actually, so you can't do rollerblades on the half pipes?
Well,
Like it's not a thing anymore?
No, you can't. You're not allowed. The skateboarders will literally take their boards and beat you out of there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's a point for skateboarders.
Apparently, skateboards are slightly faster than rollerblades. Then
Yeah, I suppose.
it's the slightly more efficient mode of transportation.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they'll get you.
I mean, they're definitely tougher than the people with rollerblades. The people with rollerblades are just rollerblading like just to the car where their mom is waiting for them.
But here's the thing: is they also have, like, you think about the history with roller skates. There's the rollerbladers that not only can do like the spins and the twists and stuff, but they're naturally better at doing like those like dance routines as well.
That's true. You can't do a good dance routine on a skateboard.
No.
No.
I bet there's some people that are skateboarders that could do a very good dance routine.
It's just not the same when you don't have the freedom of two legs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but then you could like hop off your skateboard, then use your skateboard as like its own prop while you're doing like, and then you could like, twirl it on its end.
Oh, maybe 2 skateboards?
And then
Ooh,
2 skateboards.
2 skateboards.
And then like hop them on, and then like one leg on each skateboard, right?
And then roll over and hold one skateboard above your head and then roll and do a handstand while keeping the other skateboard on your feet.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I think this is
New
going to be an
goals.
event.
Yeah.
X-Games. It'll be
I'm
When-
better.
the dance. It'll be like the dance one too. It's like, can you dance with your skateboard? And that's how the rollerbladers will get back in there, because they'll say this is just feminine enough for us to allow it into the X-Games.
So when are the X Games? Are they this weekend?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay. Downtown?
Yes, downtown at the skate park. Is there more than one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Our research on the show is like top notch.
Well, everybody knows where it is. You just go to the thing.
It's under the bridge, you know?
We should
Rhodes,
talk about
Rhodes Park, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
We should talk about an event that that's not as ubiquitous in Boise, because HomeGrown Theatre is extending their run of She Kills Monsters. The 3 of us went to see it. It was a very well done play.
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
It's sold out for the initial run, so they're running it for another 2 weeks. You can start, it's Gen Center for the Arts. Saturday, June 29th is the first available ticket that you can buy, because it looks like they sold out the first show on Thursday, which is crazy. So you want to get your tickets right now.
And it's a very good play. Very well done, well acted, well written, well executed. And now I just want to keep on talking because Zoe wants to say something, but because we're live, she doesn't want to necessarily interrupt me. So another thing about the play that I wanted to say was that it was very good.
I feel like you already said that.
I think I have something else to say about it too, which is that it's awesome.
So it's a.
Do you have
it's
anything
a
else
play.
to say, Charles?
Oh
God,
boy,
I'll kill you.
it was a lot of fun. It had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and it took me on an emotional roller coaster ride. There was great puppeteering that was going along with it.
Yeah.
Fantasy blended with reality. I'm running out of words here. But
So it's the premise is it's
Dang it.
based in the 90s with D&D.
there weren't any
game.
rollerblades, though. I was kind of
There were no
disappointed.
rollerblades.
No,
that
there was no rollerblades. Oh, by the way, if we would have kept on doing that, we would have been Me Too'd, I think, eventually. Local cis white dudes invite women on just to
Be
steamroller. Just a steamroller.
So hopefully there isn't anybody that's going to be against that out of our several.
Well, I think I
dozen
should
listeners.
explain that she's my wife, so I can talk over her whenever I want to.
Hence the rules. I think that's the rule in Idaho still. There's
Yeah,
a law in
exactly.
the book.
As long as you're over 12, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're over 12, then you can own a person.
But if you're under 12, then you're actually your parents' property. So
Ah.
we're really just.
Well, good thing I made that deal with your dad. we split it 50-50 until he turned 12. Then all of the profit came to me.
What profit am I bringing in that I don't know about?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, we're ready for our new segment.
Yeah, we should do our new segment.
Okay, we're going to be doing it. It's called the Word of the Day. New segment. Here it comes. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. We've got the Word of the Day. What will we say? The Word of the Day. You will learn something today. And here it comes. The Word of the Day. Perspicacity. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. Word of the Day. That was the word of the day. What did we say? I'm not gonna repeat it. That's why every Tuesday we tune in to hear the word of the day.
last
right.
one. Was that a made-up word or was that a real word?
I don't know. I'm not going to repeat it again. We're not going to give the definition. So if you guys missed it, then too bad.
You're
All right.
going to have to rewind it on your phone or on your YouTube app.
And then you're going to have to
Listen carefully.
and then you're going to have to type it into Google and then
Try
look
and
up the
sound it
definition.
out.
And
Yeah.
hopefully you spell it correctly. Hopefully you're close enough to the spelling that the Google autocorrect will pick it up.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the word of the day segment. Anyway, ready for some good news, bad news?
Please.
Yes.
Give me news. No, we do not want bad news. Just good news. There's good news, bad news, yeah.
All right. What's the good news for today? Because we're going to start off with good news. Usually we start off with bad news because we want to end the segment on like a positive note, but I think today we're going to do good news. Was that what we decided?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the good news?
The good news is that due to the increasing traffic problem, they finally decided to expand State Street so that there aren't as many people backed up on it, hopefully, and there will be more lanes and then turn lanes as well. So when people are turning left, you're not going to get stuck behind them in the left lane.
Yeah, and they're going to add
Drives me crazy.
sidewalks too.
Yes, sidewalks are a good thing. If
I
you
like
want to
sidewalk.
walk somewhere instead of drive, you could walk on the sidewalk instead of in the middle of the road, which is frightening.
I like that. I like that.
Did you know originally when cars were invented, they didn't have, because it was a mixture of cars and pedestrians and horses, they didn't have like a lane. It was just the thoroughfares in the town were for, carriages and horses and people on foot. And then what happened was the automobile industry invented the term jaywalking because a jay back in the day was like a really rude term to use. And so they started to blame pedestrians for not being careful enough, and that was why they were getting hit by cars. But the problem was really that like they weren't used to something shooting down the road at like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so then the
Unless
automobile...
a horse got loose and it was just bolting, then it would maybe trample a couple people. But yeah, that's interesting.
But a horse would react and probably not necessarily run into somebody if it was in the way. If there's a big thoroughfare, whereas a car will just run you right over.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
So the problem was they needed to figure it out because the problem was there was no like determined area where one thing would need to be in the other one.
So
that
then
was
the automobile industry just like used the political system to basically turn the roads into a thoroughfare specifically for vehicles. And so now the public continues to pay for the fact that everybody's on a car. And not everybody has one. Most people do. But I think it's unfair.
Oh. Well, I think it's unfair because I don't always use a car. I do own a car, though. So maybe it is fair for me. I don't know. I was trying to feel persecuted when you said that it was unfair. But I don't know if I can really feel persecuted.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But anyway, what's the bad news then?
Did you hear?
I did hear. It's pretty devastating. Long-standing, amazing restaurant Merritt's is in trouble, you guys. In trouble.
They do not know if this expansion is going to affect their business because basically it's putting the road right on their front door.
Oh, yeah, the sidewalk. Right. Oh, like right outside of the front door, right?
Mm-hmm. So it'll be parking would probably be an issue. They'd have to figure out all that. And Merritt's is amazing.
Yeah. Those of you who've never been to Merritt's, you should go right now.
Yes.
Especially go if you've already had a few drinks and then
Yes.
go eat like a scone scrambler. That's my favorite breakfast dish. Or if you go there hungover or go there not hungover, just go there. It's really good.
It's
I really enjoy
It's
it.
amazing because it's breakfast all day and then they're open until after the bars close.
No, I think they close at like 1, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Or no, did they?
I'm not sure. I think they close at 1.
Oh,
Again,
okay. But either way,
research. They're open very late, but they serve breakfast all day, so you can go there
odds
whenever.
are, yeah. I mean, they're only closed for like a few hours a day. So odds are, if you're awake and you want to eat a scone scrambler, then you can probably go. Like the most you're gonna have to wait is like 3 hours.
They use a ton
Depending upon the time.
of butter and a ton of sugar in all of their ingredients, and it makes their dishes absolutely 100% amazing.
Yeah, it's literally like a heart attack, like some sort of in one meal.
I like to
Yes.
think of it as like a hangover padding. Like if you're really drunk and you go there and you pad your stomach with all the bread and sugar, you usually don't wake up too bad the next morning.
Yeah. Or if you wake up hungover, it'll definitely help you out.
Yeah.
So it increases productivity for those of you that drink too much. If you eat at Merritt's, then you will be able to be a productive member of society that day, despite of your poor choices.
Yeah, exactly. And despite of your debilitating chronic use.
Yeah, either way. It could be a one-time or it could be an ongoing thing. You could be a frequent Merritt's user or just a one-time every once in a while when
Just
a
every
friend
once in
or
a
a
while.
relative's having a birthday party.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so they don't know what they're going to do with Merritt's, or Merritt's doesn't know, right? That's what the article said.
yeah,
It
it's
didn't
up
say
in-
like, well, I don't know what's going to happen with it. It didn't say like this is definitely going to happen, but they said they had drawn up initial plans on the expansion, and they said, well, this is kind of really into our property.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be a problem all up and down State Street when you think about it, because it's not like Merritt's is like hanging out like right next to the road or anything. It's kind of back there. There's a parking lot. There's other stuff. And I think the main thing that we need to be thinking about is there's a lot of people moving here, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of infrastructure planning.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a symptom. Merritt's potential problems is just a symptom of a bigger systematic issue. I mean, with so many people coming into the valley, we are not set up for this many people, and there seems to be nothing the legislature is doing to make steps forward.
I think the way to address this, though, is actually from one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know if you've ever seen James Cameron's Avatar, but
Yes.
basically, if we were to take the mountains and then make them floating mountains,
Yeah.
that should clear a lot of flat area for us to build some more roads and some bypasses and some interstates. And then if we want to visit the mountain, we could just take a helicopter ride up there.
Yeah, and then everything below the mountain would still be okay. I like
Yeah.
that. How are we going to raise the mountains? Just like the up dude and just put a bunch of balloons in the mountains, and eventually they'll just like float up.
Lift? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know the physics behind it. We'd have to talk to James Cameron, but I'm sure he'd be willing to help out if
Yeah.
we paid him enough money.
Yeah,
But he did it for Avatar, so
Yeah, I don't know how he did that.
It couldn't have been that expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it was the most expensive movie of all time, but if we're talking about moving all these mountains and making them up in the air,
Relatively, that was pretty inexpensive.
I know.
Well, and I will counter your point by saying it may be less expensive to add a light rail or some sort of train system.
Oh, come on. Let's be realistic here.
You're right.
Yeah, that's dumb.
God, I know.
If there was a light rail, nobody would take it anyway, even if it was very efficient. And
Yeah,
it
think
worked
about
really
who would be like, oh, yeah, light rail. I'm going to ride on that versus floating mountains.
You
I'm
got
going
a
to go take
point.
my helicopter up to the floating mountains this weekend, and then throughout the week, I'm going to be driving underneath them.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because all of these new highways and roads we've just built right underneath the mountains.
That'll be good.
You
And
gotta
then we
point.
can keep our own cars, too, because we need to keep our cars in our independence.
Good point.
As soon as we get that light rail in, there's going to be a bunch of crazy people riding. I don't want to sit next to people and maybe have to talk to them.
I don't know.
Stupid.
I think tying back into the Merritt's thing, when you're headed to Merritt's and you're kind of drunk and you're thinking, am I going to get a DUI? I'll risk it. Maybe hopping on a light rail where someone else is driving is a better option for society in general.
This is why you're not on that often.
Yeah, just take an Uber.
No, just drive. The odds of getting a ticket are very low. And you don't want to pay
That's
that
true
Uber
with that
driver.
much traffic. How are they going to pull you over?
Exactly. It's basically a parking lot there.
Yeah. All hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're pretty well safe.
So anyway, I guess we have good news, bad news. Good news is a bunch of people are moving in, which we are pro people. Not like those other Idahans. Did you guys see the thing of the guy on TV saying, "Don't move to Idaho"?
Yeah, I think
He
it was
an
the
anchor.
KTVB, and he said,
Yeah.
Idaho's full.
Yeah.
Don't move here.
Yeah. So we're pro people. We're just anti.
Not floating mountains.
Yeah, I guess
We're just anti-mountains that are attached to the earth that are in our way from...
because we need to build more roads for
Yeah.
our cars. So we need to get rid of these mountains. And then I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about some nonsense.
I don't think ACHD has any fault in any of this either.
No,
I'm
of
pretty
course
sure
not.
that they're planning. They started planning decades ago. So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
just couldn't have possibly planned for this influx of people correctly.
Exactly.
Because this wasn't a problem, like 10 years ago.
No.
Traffic wasn't an issue. Oh wait, no. Actually, maybe
No,
the more I
we
think
had
about
to
it,
add a
I
few
think
lanes, I
Eagle
think.
and State Street have been a mess for the last 10 years minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Actually,
know.
when I first came here, weren't they rebuilding the entire interstate
Yeah,
system?
they
That
were.
would have been a good time to maybe put a crazy whatever.
A light rail.
Whatever.
A floating mountain.
I don't want to be on. I don't want to be on record saying that there should be a light rail. I feel like that's more provocative in Idaho than saying you should just drive drunk.
This is true.
Because if you drive drunk, then you end up becoming governor. But if you say you want to have a light rail, you lose all political capital.
Yeah, good point.
What happens if I want to run for something? I don't want to have on record somebody saying, "Oh man, Elliot Norton, he said that he wanted a light rail back like 10 years ago." Instead, they're just going to say, "Hey, he just said to drive drunk. Just don't play the odds. It's probably not that dangerous."
You'll fit right in here.
You'll fit right into Idaho. And then you might be able to, rise up through the ranks of government, become governor or the leader of the prisons, right? And the director of prisons.
There's a vast
You got
amount
a couple DUIs, It's just part of the cowboy stuff. When the cop pulls you over, you just say, hey, sorry, I just put my chewing tobacco in a pint of whiskey.
I was soaking my chewing tobacco in whiskey, and that's why my breath smells of booze.
All right. So I think, does this wrap it up?
All right. Let's cut it off here, and thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Treasure Valley Podcast, presented to you by LowerGentry Studios. Visit us at lowergentrystudios.com to catch, this episode of the Treasure Valley Podcast, previous episodes of the Treasure Valley Podcast, future episodes of the Treasure Valley Podcast, as well as original content, including Canyon County, the web series. We have a couple feature films that will be released very shortly. So visit lowergentrystudios.com to check out all that content. Have a good night.